Kislev. The motherland has turned her back on us. Exiled to a wasted land. Brothers and sisters betrayed. Was the meek cling to power? Is it just? To be the bulwark the world relies on? Does it make us weak? To witness endless loss? Do we falter? Molded by it. Forged hot against an anvil of ice. Rage consumes us. But from the fire, we rise again.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. Recently we were treated to another cinematic for Total War Warhammer 3. Once again focusing around the Kislevites versus the Servants of Khorne. There's a lot that happens with this trailer, stuff which is rather interesting, which could point to a lot of hints towards the future. So what I want to do with this video is watch it bit by bit with you guys and go over an analysis of the possible gameplay or even possible lore implications with this. So let's not waste any more time and jump right in.
Peggy 16.
Kislev.
Alright, so we can already start off. Here we can see an Aurora Borealis, but in Warhammer it's a lot different to what it is in our real world. When it comes to something like this, very similar to that of the Northern Lights in Warhammer Fantasy, it's commonly linked towards raw chaos energy. Very much like if the winds of magic themselves are becoming very noticeable, something along the lines as the fabric of reality very much warping as the realms of chaos start to link to the physical Warhammer Fantasy world. This is speculation which is very long standing with the Warhammer Fantasy community, as it was never really addressed by Games Workshop, yet it's always commonly been seen this way, and I believe that this is what Games Workshop and Creative Assembly are trying to portray here in this trailer. A quick note here is that very rarely do we see settlements anymore when it comes to cinematic trailers, and we have to take into account that this trailer is using the in-game engine, so I'm very much hoping that this means that we're going to start seeing proper settlement maps. It very much looks like it, and it looks like a minor settlement. Nothing too big, there's not many walls around, just some basic palisades. I could be misinterpreting this because, well, Creative Assembly could just be using some basic assets, but then again, it seems like it's kinda like a proper settlement, doesn't it? And let's be very honest here, we've all been asking for proper settlement maps, so let's hope for the best here.
The motherland has turned her back on us. Exiled to a wasted land. Brothers and sisters betrayed. Was the meek cling to power? Is it just?
Okay, so we have a Kislevite going off on a bit of a monologue, and this can easily be explained. So we know that the Kislevites are marching northward into the realms of chaos themselves. It looks like right now they're in the Chaos Wastes, and the thing is, the further you go northward, the more chances are that you're going to start feeling a lot of intensive emotions. This is simply because the Chaos Gods themselves feed on emotion. It's something which has always been established in lore, as there's this whole thing with, you know, pride, gluttony, rage, all that type of stuff. He's obviously feeling doubt, and yeah, I can't blame him. He's already stated that some lives have been lost. There is the case that they've probably lost some skirmishers and many of his comrades have fallen. It's stuff like that which makes it very possible to start falling to chaos. It's not really that complicated when it comes to chaotic influence. If you're starting to see your friends around you fall and you think that your governing bodies, in this case the Queen of Kislev, isn't doing enough, well, then you might start considering turning sides, especially if you feel like that is the winning side. Now that is an impressive sight. It looks like a multi-tier settlement, which is exactly what we've been asking for many years at this point. I'd still say that this is more or less a minor settlement, as the walls are quite small. It doesn't look like you would get a lot of people up there or be able to use siege towers on it. Though if stuff like this does get implemented in game, that would be absolutely amazing.
To be the bulwark the world relies on? Does it make us weak?
Okay, just going by the monologue again, he does actually have a bit of a point. Kislev is the bulwark for most of the Warhammer Fantasy world against chaos, and if we can be perfectly honest, the other races don't really do enough when it comes to supporting them. Yes, they will send some relief forces and so on, but if you go by the grand majority of Kislev's established lore, they don't really get there in time. It's almost like the other races just expect for Kislev to hold, and for that reason, Kislev has taken many losses over the years, either by loss of life or loss of cities. I sympathize with this warrior, as I know Kislev's lore quite well, and it's always been one of those things where you're like, well, the other races should really do a little bit more.
To witness endless loss.
The first time I saw the trailer and I saw him doing the gesture with his hands, I already knew he was going to fall. It's one of those things where you're feeling power pulsate in your body, and a natural reaction is to look at your hands. This is an incredibly common trope when it comes to falling from grace and going evil in any fantasy, sci-fi setting or anything really. What's incredibly curious to me, however, is the fact that he's wearing Chaos Undivided armor, especially if you can look at the frame. Behind him there are a bunch of different Khorne warriors, so why is he so drastically different? If he's surrounded by Khorne warriors, you'd expect him to have Khorne armor. It's one of those things. You don't just fall and go to Chaos Undivided and then pick your god. It depends really how you fall. And it is very much known that you can just fall and directly start worshipping a specific Chaos god if that god in specific had some sort of influence over you.
Do we falter?
This is an incredible heretical moment against the Kislevites. This is the burning of a temple of Ursin. Ursin is the godhead of the Kislevite pantheon, so it's actually really interesting. The temple itself would have to be within the territories of Kislev, so perhaps these Khorne warriors are marching into the lands of Kislev themselves, being led by this traitor. It's very highly unlikely that we're going to see a temple of Ursin outside of the lands of Kislev. He's not really worshipped anywhere else. He can have some minor worshippers here and there, but that would be like if the lady was worshipped en masse outside of Bretonnia. It's very unheard of.
We are molded by it. Forged hot against an anvil of ice.
Alright, this, I don't know what this is. You can see this snow leopard type of thing? Ice cat? I didn't see one of these in my previous playthrough, and it seems very odd. I don't remember anything in the lore talking about some sort of snow ice leopard thing, though this of course might be something completely new, as of course Kislev has had new lore implemented and new units and so on, yet I'm still incredibly curious as to what it actually is. A single entity monstrous unit or something?
Rage consumes us. From the fire, we rise again.
The voice change is rather strange. Your voice doesn't really change when you fall to chaos unless you're suffering from some heavy mutations. Mutations themselves when it comes to Khorne is very possible, but this might be something completely different. The eyes turning red and the fire cracking around his skull can indicate something completely different. Demonic possession could be very possible. It's something that was established in lore, just never really properly fleshed out. Although this could be something else. It could be that this character has been falling for quite some time now. He might be attempting to prove himself as worthy of the Blood God's blessings. Maybe he's trying to become a demon prince. Or better yet said, the ascension to that of an exalted demon. That's when a mortal follower of the Chaos Gods prove themselves worthy, but not worthy enough for that of an ascension of a demon prince. Think of it as a step below demon princehood. They're still very much possible to keep gaining favor and eventually become a demon prince though. I've seen many people speculate that the girl with the bear could also be Catherine, but I don't think that this is the case. Both scenes seem to be playing at the exact same time. Though I could be wrong here, it's all a matter of perspective when watching one of these cinematics. Again, the voice of the character is becoming deeper and more demonic. I honestly think this might be something in the future in regards to demonic ascension for Chaos Lords or Chaos Heroes. I really do hope so. It would be really cool if we could actually have basic Lord or Hero characters ascend to demonhood. I'm of course referring to mortal characters because I think that would be really cool. It's something that's very heavily embedded into lore and something which could potentially, if done well of course, be incredibly thematic. So our young friend here and her pet bear seem to have found themselves in the actual realm of the Blood God. which is curious to me as the Temple of Ursin itself was quite close to her, or at least we're led to believe that. Unless the burning of the Temple of Ursin happened long before canonically, and the recent fight scene between the Kislevites and the Warriors of Chaos is that of a retaliation from the Kislevites. Does this mean that perhaps Ursin is the dying god? The original cinematic trailer pointed towards Dars, the god of fire, but this might point towards Ursin. It could very much be that Creative Assembly are trying to throw us off the trail, which, yeah, I wouldn't put it past them, though it might be more interesting if it was the fact that Ursin was the one that was the dying god. Either way, both of those gods would cause a matter of urgency for the Kislevites, as they are both rather important in their pantheon. But with that said, we are now in the realms of chaos with this picture, and obviously this we've seen before. Right in front of this Kislevite is the Brass Citadel, Khorne's personal throne room, which I would say is the link between the Aurora Borealis and this. It's what I stated before, where the ties of reality and interdimensional warp, which is the realm of chaos itself, are slowly molding together. Which leads me to question the whole thing where Creative Assembly said that there is no end time scenario here. Normally when stuff like this in lore happens, it's a end time scenario. It's when the world is potentially going to be lost. They did say that there is no end time scenario, but maybe it's the case that we will see something in the future, perhaps in the form of a final DLC. At least I hope so. Yeah, I know a lot of people aren't too keen on the end times, but it is the canonical ending. I don't like it as much as you guys, but yeah, we might as well see it, you know? It could provide for a rather interesting final DLC, a proper end time scenario with this absolutely massive, terrifying chaos invasion and all that, but let's talk about that another day. Let's just focus about this. So we've seen a lot of interesting things here, and there is a lot of stuff that harkens back to older lore, some newer stuff which of course we expected anyway, and some possible hints towards new settlements, I hope at the very least, and maybe the demonic ascension? But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's start a bit of a discussion. I'm rather curious to see how you guys interpret the whole cinematic trailer. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games, where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our fame level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our king level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.